Gauging project team information investments. To what degree does your organization provide access to performance data that project teams will need to develop projects? Share cost information project teams need to evaluate options and make decisions. How often do you regularly update project teams on performance trends and financial decisions? How often do you send project team feedback to ensure that information is easy to obtain? So you actually ask your teams, are you getting what you need? Is it easy to get what you need? You provide project teams with computer access to speed up the data analysis process. And then you recognize and reward project teams that effectively use data to make improvements. So there's 4 different ways we can improve our support score relative to project teams and information. And the best thing we can do is provide timely data access. Both project time to market and project quality are improved if team members can get key data when they need it. Imagine what happens when a team has to wait 2 weeks for engineering to complete an analysis for them. And that happened back in the day. Imagine the frustration a team feels when management asks the team for more data, but then they make it hard to get the data. Improve this situation by including engineer types on project teams, making the keepers of the data accessible, and by allowing team members to access at least parts of the company measurement databases. Maybe paper documentation, what will there be any server access? Is there cloud storage they can access, temporary storage? Also provide regular updates because information is key to helping teams pick high-impact projects and make good decisions. If your team members are not getting regular updates on how the organization is doing, what it's trying to accomplish, and how its improvement efforts are going, then the special briefings need to be held with the team. Team leader meetings held monthly are used successfully by many companies to do that. And so they'll hold a 2 to 3 hour team leader meeting. They'll pass along this type of information, and then the team leader would take it to their team. We want to encourage the use of cost data. When the time comes to sell an idea to management, those managers expect cost figures. That's their language. Teams are at a great disadvantage when their presentation does not contain cost-based information. More often than not, teams have to go back to the drawing board to develop additional justification. That's rework within the project development cycle. It delays the project's implementation. If teams are taught how to use cost to sell projects early on in their development, and we give them access to at least general cost information, they can greatly enhance their ability to sell and put in place high leverage improvements. Finally, we want to recognize good team uses of information. Teams should be recognized for more than merely impacting the bottom line. Data collection and analysis should be used throughout the project development process. When your teams exhibit a thorough understanding of this process and they apply data analysis tools effectively, we should recognize that fact. We should give them recognition that is superior to the team that only provides sketchy facts. Are your teams getting enough information? Team effectiveness can be greatly enhanced if teams have access to cost and other process information, and if they're aware of how their project will impact others from a results perspective. Unfortunately, most organizations are very guarded with cost information, which in turn greatly delays the project development process. Teams can also benefit from having access to process information. The less data they have to collect, the more quickly they can identify root causes, diagram current processes, evaluate alternatives, and complete action plans. Kaizen teams, for example, will only work well if they can go into their 2 to 3 day stretch of meetings with the ability to get the process data they need for analysis and decision making when they come to that point in the process. I don't know of many, if any, teams that can take a project from start to finish effectively without using data at different stages in the project development process. Implementing the philosophies and practices of open book management go a long way toward showing teams how their project will impact others. Most teams are expected to justify their decisions, if not their existence, from a cost perspective. Having a working knowledge of the cost of doing business allows teams to present their work in a direct, cost-based manner. Instead of cost understanding being a skill that only certain team members have, it should be common knowledge for all employees. Creating a business literacy knowledge base will impact the effectiveness of all of your team types. One key consideration involves the process that teams must use to get a given piece of information. Can they get it themselves, or do they have to request it from someone else? It's sad that in today's information age, teams can still experience significant delays in getting information because of the downsized workplace or management's unwillingness to provide access to the data. Whenever a team has to ask someone else for data that should be available to all, we're automatically placing a delay into the project development process. To support your teams in an optimum manner, they should be able to get a variety of information on their own. One way to accomplish this goal is to show team leaders and members how to access certain computer data sets, manual filing systems if you still have them, and other possible hard copy documentation. If confidentiality is a concern, consider setting up an independent set of data for teams to use or restricting what they can access via the use of passwords and user setups. Teaching team members how to use computer applications such as spreadsheets, charting, and database management can improve their ability to find what they need on their own. They can also create and analyze what-if scenarios and speed up the process of doing so. In high-performing organizations, essentially all team leaders have these skills. They keep developing them over time, and they pass them along to their team members. Finally, teams need access to subject matter experts, such as engineers or people from other work teams. These people do not necessarily have to be team members that attend every meeting, but they do need to have available time to attend meetings when asked. They'll often be also asked to do project analysis work that the team needs to move forward. In fact, groups such as engineering can contribute greatly to a team's time to market measure by providing critical and timely between meeting project development work.